Welcome back, everyone. My name is Emily, and today we are going to talk a little bit about some local Florida Keys history and how it is related to the history of diving. And we're going to touch on recreational diving and its origins a little bit in there as well. So, many people are familiar with the name Art McKee. He is the famous father of modern treasure salvage here in the Florida Keys. And though the treasure salvage is really what he's known for in a large part, he was also a pioneer of educating and bringing artifacts that he found on these shipwreck sites to the public and educating them with it. He also pioneered early recreational diving by getting people involved and excited to go underwater on these shipwrecks. Now, in a previous video, I had spoken about how he was very involved with the research and preservation of his artifacts that he displayed at his own museum. From 1938 and for the following 40 years, he would work on shipwrecks throughout the Florida Keys and the Caribbean, working to preserve and educate the public through his museum. Now, we're going to take a little bit of a field trip to the exterior of said building that used to house his museum, but it serves as a very different educational purpose today. So if you want to follow me, let's dive on in and I'll meet you outside. Hey guys, we are outside right now on Plantation Key, a little up the road from the diving museum, and we are standing in front of Art McKee's original treasure museum, as you can see from this wonderful castle-looking building behind me. Today it actually serves as the Treasure Village Montessori School. It is part of the Monroe County School District here in the Florida Keys, and it has been so for a couple decades now. And as you can tell, it's got a really unique appearance. And Art McKee did build it that way, and it actually serves as a function as well. As you can see, it has a large tower, and what Art McKee did is every morning he would climb up to the top, and looking south, which was looking towards the Atlantic Ocean, he had little crosshairs kind of carved into the cylinder blocks up there that pointed towards his shipwrecks that he would work on. And every morning he would make sure that nobody was out on his wreck stealing his archaeological and artifacts and treasure that he was finding at the time. And what I think is really neat about this property too is that the school has maintained some of the unique interior designs that Art McKee had made while it was a museum. So they've incorporated the history into their form of education. And I think that's the most important part, is that this building and property is still being used to educate people. Even if it's not a museum, it actually is probably having a wider effect by having hundreds of students every year through 8th grade passing through its doors. Now, it's a little windy out here and I don't want to compete with the traffic, so let's head back inside. I'll see you in a second. Whew, it's a little warm out there today. So, Art McKee would often take museum visitors out on his glass-bottom boat, the Treasure Princess. And while they would be out at the wreck site, he would actually outfit them in an open-bottom helmet, frequently a Miller-Dunn style, and he would get them in the water at the shipwreck site. He wanted them to experience what it was like to be on the site, even work on it, in real life. I mean, to get that feeling of what this, experience is. And Art McKee actually continued utilizing Miller-Dunn diving hoods even as modern scuba equipment became popular in the 1950s. He stuck with the old and true type of helmet. Now, back then, glass-bottom boats and diving on shipwrecks were not the big to-do. Really, it was a bit of a novelty at the time, not like today, where that's a big part of tourism here in the Florida Keys. And in a way, Art McKee was actually the pioneer and forerunner of ecotourism, and in a way he was a dive master as well, because he was training people to go underwater and wear equipment. And on top of it, he would provide participants a certificate of qualification as a treasure diver. Quite the title if you ask me. I wonder if any of the dive agencies actually have titles like that today. Now, as we've seen, Art McKee is primarily known for his treasure salvaging, but his other contributions are as equally important. We hope next time you're at the diving museum, you take notice of some of the artifacts that we have that used to be on display at his museum, and also get into the drive and passion of Art McKee. What made him love the ocean, and especially here in the Florida Keys. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thanks for watching. Like and follow our page, and leave us any questions or comments below, and we will see you next time.